Are you sick of going online to look up for secondhand dolls for a cheaper price, but only end up finding out that the same dolls are actually double or triple the price that they went on for when they were in retail stores? In this video, I will share all the secrets to finding the doll brands and lines that are both cute and much cheaper than they were when they were in physical stores. Hello guys, it's yours truly, Sunsetia, and today it's time for us to finally take a rest from paying overpriced for used dolls and make our money worth as doll collectors. In this video, I'm going to share all of my favorite doll brands and doll lines that are much cheaper on secondhand websites than they were in retail. Because just like you, I'm tired of having to overpay and keep up with the reseller prices that are double and triple for a doll that's actually in a terrible condition. And what makes me sad the most is that there are actually people out there that buy these dolls for such a horrendous price. So that's why I decided to share all of my secrets to making your money worth. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most of the people who view me are actually not subscribed, which is really sad because I put a lot of effort into my videos, and whenever I get new subscribers, it really motivates me to post more often for you. So, let's get started. First, let's start with one doll brand I'm sure all of us doll collectors had overpaid for before. Monster High. You will actually be shocked how many doll lines and doll characters are out there that are much cheaper and, in my opinion, just as pretty as the main popular doll lines are. Out of all the cheaper Monster High G1 dolls that I own, my favorite examples will always be Venus and Abby. Both of them have many releases and most of them are much cheaper, ranging from $10 to $25 depending on the completion and sometimes on the doll line. As for specific characters that are cheap, usually those include characters with only one doll release, such as, for example, I own Lorna. She was really cheap for me. I think she costed like $10, but the tricky part with dolls with only one release is that if they're missing any parts, then you'll have to pay a whole bank in order to complete them. That's why my Lorna is still missing an arm, but if you're a fan of more popular characters, then there's still cheaper options that you can settle for. For example, here is my Frankie collection, and some of her releases are actually much cheaper than the other more popular ones. As for doll lines that are cheaper, I really recommend looking up those Generation 1 charts that showcase all of the lines that if you want a specific character, then a specific character was in. Because sometimes there are doll lines that everybody just forgets about and they do not sell well at all. For example, the Skulltimate Roller Maze line, from which I have the Operetta doll, is so pretty in my opinion, but costed me only $9. Mostly, when it comes to resellers overpricing certain dolls, there could be absolutely no reason for it behind it. That character could be completely unpopular, or the doll line release could have zero fans of it, but the doll will still be overpriced just for the fake of it. So now, it's time for us to talk about some of my personal favorite doll lines and doll brands that are, for some reason, being nearly given away for free on secondhand. But there is somewhat of a reason behind every single one. For all of the doll brands that I will mention, I'll just skim quickly through some of the key reasons behind their unpopularity and problematicness. But you have to stay in the same mindset here with me, just so that you don't think that I'm just a weirdo collecting those. In my opinion, if the doll brand itself is no longer existent, or it exists but you buy their production secondhand, meaning it's used, and it's also key reason is it's really cheap, people are basically giving away those, then there's sort of a separation between the production, the figures itself, the things themselves, and the doll brand themselves, because most of the time if you buy those things you're not actually supporting the brand, because most of the time A, it no longer exists, B, this is just buying from another person to person, basically keeping those items from going to the landfill. So my main criteria when it comes to liking certain secondhand brands, and secondhand specifically, is that the look of the figure or of a doll needs to be appealing to me. So now, after such a long explanation, let's start with our first candidate that most of you probably know, LOL dolls. Now, if you were to ever actually look up any of the LOL dolls on secondhand, you might be surprised that the prices range from $2 per doll to $17 for a completed one. And if you were like me and lived through the 2015 craze when everybody wanted one, then you might be shocked by this fact. But in my opinion, there are two main reasons to why this happened. First of all, they were kind of like the Labubus of the time, meaning a lot of people bought them just because everybody else wanted it and they felt the FOMO, fear of missing out, from not having them. The second reason only applies to their mini dolls, not the fashion ones, which is the weird gimmick that all of them shared. If you ever had any of these dolls, even as a kid, you know what I'm talking about. And even if you don't, long story short, is that you can put water into them and they can either spit it out or cry or, well, pee themselves. I don't see how they thought it would be a good idea to make that, but I think they were just copying the thing that a lot of the baby dolls share, like newborns and all of that. In my opinion, as somebody who mostly collects fashion dolls, that's really weird. And I don't understand the appeal of it to the masses. But here we are with these dolls actually having a lot of sales back in the day. So I guess since it was selling, it was selling. So, and from that reason, there is another sort of a sub-reason that comes with it, which is one thing that every single collector hates. No matter what you collect, you hate this thing, which is mold. So most of the time when you see these dolls going for really cheap on secondhand and they were used, then usually it's because of a potential mold risk. And that's why my advice to you, try, instead of buying the used dolls, buying either A, used but kept as a collector, meaning they had never been used in water or anything like that, or B, settle for some new open dolls. You will be surprised to hear that, but that's actually really widespread. A lot of people just buy these dolls, open them, and resell them like that. So now that I had explained the reasons to you, I think it's time to go ahead and for me to share with you my top 3 favorite things that this doll brand had made. First of all, let's talk about the little Tots dolls. Usually I have them complementing their bigger sis fashion dolls or just standing as a background, but sometimes I place them by themselves just because I really like their outfits or I really like the playsets they come with. Overall, I think adding these little ones is a really good way to spice up your display and add more detail to it. Plus, they're really cheap, especially in lots. You can buy $15 for $20 or less. I also collect the weird LOL pets too. In my opinion, I don't know why they get so much hate. I think they're really cute and great for display, especially the small shiny ones. And I think getting them is a good way to add on to a character you really like. For example, I really like Bon Bon, and because of that, I'm trying to complete more of her family in my collection. Also, I sometimes use them if they fit a certain aesthetic of another doll I have, as for example this little white cat that I have here. I absolutely adore him and I think he looks so cute. And at last we have the LOL OMG and Tweens dolls. In my opinion, I don't understand why so many people hate them. A lot of people think that their faces look weird, but me personally, I never focus on their faces as much as I focus on their outfits. And my personal favorite part about them is that there is a doll for every single subculture and style. My favorites being Candelicious with her heavily sweets-based outfit, and my favorite aspect being her Num Nums earrings, and this Y2K diva whose name I forgot that's wearing this beautiful tracksuit. Now that we have finished with such a big and pretty popular and well-known brand such as LOL Surprise dolls, let's move on to one of my favorites that's a bit more niche, which is Poopsy Slime Surprise dolls, specifically their Little Critters collection. Now, before I mention anything to why they're so unpopular and even hated, look at them and tell me one thing. Don't you think they're cute? All of them are super unique and have a lot of detail and interesting features. This unicorn figure that I have having hold to 2 sleeves on herself. Now that you have looked at these cuties, you might think, why did I never hear about them? They're so cute, and why is there no popularity around them? And this is a perfect place for me to explain this reason, which is their gimmick. It's in the name, which the first part is slime. Every single thing that had come out with this company is slime related. There is always some sort of a way you make slime with these things. For what, you might see a hole in the critter's mouth. But here is the issue. How this slime that's basically being made by putting water into this critter's head gets out of it. Which one option is to push on the head and it gets out of the mouth, and the other one is the one that I hate to speak about, but basically, yeah. I don't know what to say, I hate talking about the subject. It is weird. What's weirder is the keychains they used to make, which were a surprise thing too. This is why I specifically mentioned that I collect these specific critter line and not any of the other things they've made. The best part about them is that you can buy them for dirt cheap on secondhand. But there's 2 really important aspects you need to, of course, consider before buying. Is mold. If the doll itself is already had been used, then that means she had water inside of her head. And if she had water, could there potentially be mold? And 2, if they are not used, the main problem is how to get the slime powder that's, mind you, stored in their head, how to get it out of there. And this is the tricky part that I absolutely hated doing when back in the day I bought a few of these new, which is you need to take a syringe, put the water into their head, shake it, and push it out, and repeat that at least 10 times. It is a lot because it's really hard to get out, and if you're thinking about making a slime out of it, don't do it. It never works. I'm telling you as somebody who tried to do it several times, it never works. Overall, I think buying these is a great option to spice up any of the trinket shelves that you have. If you want me to make a deeper dive into any of the doll lines that I had mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments. And now, let's move on to our last doll brand, which is Rainbow High. Rainbow High and Shadow High are probably my all-time favorite doll brand. With their huge selection of different doll styles, skin tones, hair colors, and eye colors, they're our perfect pick for buying secondhand. As many times as I have looked for certain dolls that I wanted, they're always being sold for a fair price. As for how much it costs to complete a doll, here for example I have my all-time favorite doll, and I bought her used for around $9, plus she did not have any clothes with her, so in order to complete her, I had to buy several different lots to get the clothes and the needed legs so that she could wear these beautiful heels that she has. And it costed me around $15 more to complete her, meaning that I spent $24 on this doll. Even though I bought her in a used and played with condition, her face and her hair are still in perfect condition, with her hairstyle still being the same as it was when the doll was in box. As for the main difficulty when it comes to buying Rainbow High dolls used is their stands. For some reason, if a doll comes with her stand, then the price goes up automatically by $5 to $10, which in my opinion is ridiculous. And this is all the information you need to know to buy secondhand dolls for a fair price. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And just share anything doll related that you want. I love talking about dolls, so I will be happy to hear about anything you are up to. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!